We did say this, didn't we? Palace have this great record against Manchester City, and they've done it again, Sean.
Yeah, they have. I'm honestly confused as to how and why, but I think City were cruising pretty much the whole game, and they played on transition, and they played it well. They stayed in the game as long as they possibly could. They got the first one back, and they waited for that chance to come again, and the penalty gets given, which obviously was a penalty, and Elise's penalty to dispatch it was perfect. It was beautifully taken.
Yeah.
There was a nervousness about Manchester City, which I don't think we're used to seeing, was there? I mean, City control the games so well, so often, and they did that up until I think it was the 76th minute today, and you concede a goal. They're a lot more fallible than I've ever seen a Manchester City team. They're making wrong mistakes, getting caught at certain times, but the moment they conceded that goal, it was a City team I didn't recognise. They were a little bit nervous. They were conceding chances. Crystal Palace sensed something. And yes, it was a silly penalty for Phil Foden to give away at the end, but Crystal Palace earned their way back in that 15 minutes.
And it looked so comfortable early on in the second half. Rico Lewis, the 19-year-old, scoring his first ever Premier League goal. This will be a moment he won't forget, Sean. And at this point, it looked like City were in pole position.
Correct. So Jack coming inside, the ball comes across. I think it takes a slight deflection that brings it in, but the finish from Rico in general, to stay that composed. But there you go again, Foden's in that pocket, and his first touch is unbelievable. And Rico just strokes it in the back of the net. It's a great composed finish from, like you said, that 19-year-old.
Yeah, it's a good finish. I mean, he's in the team to help Rodri in that midfield position, which is incredible, considering we've seen he was a full-back to start with, but he's not held back by that position. A great finish once he got in there.
Yeah, technically Foden just gets better and better, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he's showing everything that we all knew he could do, but for the first time or a point in his career in a while, we're seeing him in that position that everybody's been waiting to see him. And in a way, sometimes he might want to play in that number 10 role when Kevin's been out, but he has that chance now, especially with Alvarez moving forward. So for me, I thought he was brilliant today yet again.
But against the run of play, Palace got themselves back into it.
They did, and this was actually a really well-worked goal from Crystal Palace. It's a brilliant run from Schlupp. He actually made two runs. What first one didn't get any joy. The second one, and that first one got him into that position. And then the way he arcs this run is the way a striker would arc their run in their prime. And then you're after supporters. Anybody up alongside him, he gets in there. That's the position Mateta needs to attack, and he does. He gets off the back of Ake, because that ball could be fired across, or the goalkeeper could save it. And all good strikers make sure that they're in a position to score goals, and he does that brilliantly there. And Ake can't do anything with it. And Palace were back in that game. And as I said, I thought there was a nervousness about City after that.
Yeah. And then 93rd minute into injury time, Palace got themselves a penalty. Was there any debating the actual decision?
No, I think for me, I've been in this position as an attacking player where you think you're going to get the ball and the defender, the attacker obviously gets there before you, and your follow through takes him out. But it isn't something he meant. He just doesn't see the Palace player getting there that quick. So for me, it's a clear-cut
foul goals. That's a big one. He committed to it, didn't he? Really?
Yeah, he really went to get rid of that ball. But the finish is as cool as ice from Elise. It's a great finish, and like Leon said, that they worked hard and they stuck in a game and they got their rewards from it there and then.
Random thoughts on the match. It is surprising that Manchester City dropped 2 points. They coast through the first half with Jack Grealish goal and more or less control the game. Then Rico Lewis goal in the 54th minute seemed should be enough to get them all 3 points. It was not to be. Mateta's goal for Crystal Palace in the 76th minute seemed to rattle City players. Then in the dying minutes of the game, Crystal Palace managed to equalise with the penalty goal resulting from Phil Foden's foul. As good a team as Manchester City are, there is something about Crystal Palace in their head-to-head history. They are one of the bogey teams who can take points off them. Today seems to confirm that fact. And you have to applaud their effort. Even though City basically outplayed them for the majority of the playing minutes, they are resolute in the defending. And when they have their few chances, they took them. Therefore you cannot say they do not deserve the point.